Hey everyone, welcome to Cypress Automation. This is Sharful. Today we're going to learn how to automate checkbox in Cypress. So it's a very common scenario in automation, web automation world. That is, you may have a checkbox option and then you have to verify it whether its checkbox is working as it's expected or not. Okay, so we're going to see a scenario how to do this through Cypress. Let's go. So here is our practice site. Okay, so here you can see there is a checkbox. So there is a three option. What our task would be, we'll select say option 1. So and after that we'll confirm that it was checked on option 1. Then we'll uncheck it. That's if you click on again, it should uncheck. And then in checkbox behavior you can select more than one option. Say example option 1 and option 2, both of them. So we'll do another step, another test is like ensure that you are enabled to check both option. So that would be our the practice. So let's go to our VS Code. So let's create a test case file, spec file, new file. So let's give a name, say checkbox test or checkbox .js. So this is our spec file, and here we're going to first let's open our browser. So let's inspect that checkbox option 1. Inspect it. So if you go here, level 1, you can see this is the HTML code that's reflect option 1. Here we have an ID which is unique, I believe. Yes, a checkbox option 1. So we can use this checkbox option 1. Okay, this is the ID. You can copy it, and then now here test case, we're going to start with describes. I believe that you remember that or you know it about the Mocha frameworks, which is start with the describe block. Describe block, and inside the describe block you have a 2 argument. And if you are not familiar with about this Mocha frameworks, so please watch my previous lecture, you will be able to understand. So describe block, you have a 2 argument. One is like your test suite. You can say checkbox checkbox test suite. Just you give it some sort of name or test group name, and then second part would be your function, right? Function. So function would be something like that, and inside the function you will have your it block, which is your actual test cases where you are going to write your test steps. So it block is started like this, it, and then you will have again you will have why it, okay, and then you will type your it block. So your it block here, and it will have also 2 argument. So one is would be you just some sort of description like my checkbox test, my say checkbox test, and then second part would be also function, right? Function. I'm trying to make it, you know, as much as possible, break it down each and every line so that you can follow it and you can do the practice, and later on we'll see the some shortcut option. Okay, so your function again. Okay, so this is the body of your it block. So here you're gonna write all of your actual code related with your test cases. So first thing, what are you gonna do? We need to, you know, visit the URL, the website. So we'll say cy.visit cy.visit. Hold on, so it's having some. Now let me add some extra line at the very top. This, you know, this line, like reference types equal to Cypress, this line will work as an IntelliJ. So it means it will automatically understand when you type something, you know, like 1 or 2 or you know, later of Cypress command, it will automatically give you a suggestion of the actual Cypress command. Okay, so we'll say, so let's get back to here. We'll type cy. You see now it shows, you know, all of the command related to Cypress because of this line. So, you know, you add this line, the reference types equals Cypress, at the very beginning, so that your, you know, IntelliJ, I mean your VS Code have the IntelliJ power enable, so that it shows you all the Cypress command. So we'll say cy.visit. Okay, and then your URL. What's the URL? Let's go to the website and copy the URL and paste it here. Okay, and after that we're going to select the checkbox option 1. So once again, this is our ID for the checkbox, you know, option 1. So copy this ID. So we'll say cy.get, so that we can get the element. What's the since it's an ID, so it's going to be the CSS selector is going to be use hash sign and then value of the ID, right? So this is the locator of the element, and dot check, the check function, check keyword, that will be, you know, check, enable the check of this element, and then, you know, we can do a assertion. How are you going to confirm it was checked on the option 1? So how are you going to confirm? So we're going to use the should assertion. Should, and then should, what do we want to do? We want to say should be, right, be checked. You can see there is a, you know, lot of options for should, but checked is one of the options. So it will confirm, this command will confirm this, you know, element was checked or not. If it's a checked, if it's a find yes, it will just return true or false. If it's a true, if it's find it was checked, it will, test will be passed. If it's not, test will be fail, right? And then we can also use so should be checked, and there's an n command. We can use also n command and have value and have dot value. What value? So we have seen here, you can see, so it has a, for the ID checkbox option 1, it has a value is option 1. So this is the value. So if you have any element, it has a value, and you want to verify through also value, you can use also n command, you know, with the argument like have value, and what's the value should be? The value should be option 1, right? So this should be the value. So this will, you know, enable you this part is the assertion part. We're saying should be checked, and then also we're saying the checked function, whatever the it was checked, its value should be option 1, right? Okay, so let's save it, and then we can run it. Okay, to run it, we know that's the test runner command, right? So this is the test runner command. Let's clear it. Test runner command .node module, it's the .bin Cypress open, right? So this is the test runner. So we'll update, make our own command, so that you don't have to write that long or remember this long command. Okay, so instead of that, let me run it first. Okay, so it's ran, and you can see the checkbox JS checkbox spec. So if you open it, okay, it's launching the site. Awesome. And then it should, you can see over here we go. So it's option 1 was selected, and you can see the assertion did a pass, right? There's a 2 assertion we added. One was make sure the value option 1, another one it was make sure it was a checked the checkbox 1, right? So this is the test runner. Let's stop it, and then here let's make it easier. Our test script runner command. Okay, so let's make the Cypress command, the script running command, a little bit shorter, so that we don't have to remember that's a long .node /bin command, right? So to do this, open our package.json file, open this one, and here you will see there's a script. There's a part, it's a block, it's called a script, and underneath there is a test, there is a command where you can create your own command over here. The format would be whatever the name this is your part, whatever the command you want to give, and here is the actual command. So it means this part equals to this. So instead of running long part, you are just type npm whatever the command you are give over here. So here example, we're going to say to open our test runner, to run our script, we will say over here, say cy open, CYOPEN open, and here the command that's also enable to open the script. I mean, it's a test runner. It's called command is Cypress open, Cypress open, right? So this will also will help us if we just say npm run cy open, it will open our test runner. So instead of running giving a long command, and you can add more script on later on, and we'll see, we'll add more script later on, but just for now let's use this one. Okay, let's do it. Let's save it first, and then now we'll see how we can use this script. We'll say npm and then run, then cy whatever the your custom script, cy open. Let's hit enter. It should open our test runner. Here we go. Okay, and then you do the same thing, open your spec file and which one you wants to run, and it will execute, right? Awesome. So let's close it. So that moving forward, we're going to use our own script. Okay, so let's close this one for now. Now get back to our test script. So here we successfully able to check checkbox 1, and we verify also with the 2 assertion, right? And now what's next would be we're going to uncheck it, right? Let's uncheck the option 1 box. So option 1 box again, this is our ID is locator. So next, uncheck the option 1 box, right? Option 1 box. So to do this again, we have to locate our element get, and then what's the CSS selector for this? It's the same one. This is the one, and then we'll use one Cypress command. It's called uncheck. The uncheck method or command, it's uncheck if there is a element already checked. So you can see uncheck, and then how you gonna confirm it? To confirm it, let's use again should command, should, and in this case it should not be checked, right? Okay, so we'll say not dot b. You will see not dot b. You will see it should be available. Not should not be checked. It should be. You can see there is option, right? The argument is values should not be checked, right? So this will confirm that after you apply this uncheck method in this element, it should not checked, right? Okay, save it. Let's open our Cypress command again. Test runner. Let's run it again. So first it will check, it will do the assertion, and then second step would be it will uncheck the option 1. So the first step is done. You can see. So the first it was checked with this two, and then this is the second script or second step, and then it's unchecked, and it's also verified. So you can see it's unchecked now. Okay, let's close it. Awesome. So next is the third option would be we can do a test, like since it's a checkbox, it's possible to check multiple option. So we'll check say option 1 and option 2, this two. So we know the element already, the locator of the option 1. Let's see what's the object, the locator for this option 2. Okay, so option 2, this is the one. So checkbox option 2, this is the ID, so it's similar, and the value is for the option 1, value is option 1, and for option 2, value is option 2, right? Okay, so let's copy this. So this time we're going to check multiple checkbox option. Check multiple checkbox options. So in this case, how about one thing we can do? We can do step by step. Like first we checked like this, and then again there will be another line similar to like this, right? So we can do that way, or we can use a little bit more smart way. So both of them, you can see all of the checkbox have some common attribute. The type probably yes, you can see the type is the checkbox. This is the common attribute for all the checkbox. So say like for option 1, you can see type is checkbox. Option 2 is type is checkbox. So all the checkbox, the HTML common attribute would be, or properties would be, the type is checkbox, right? So it's a very common. So we can use this common attribute, which will locate all of them, and out of all of the 3, we'll say select the checkbox option, the value by the value. We'll say select the checkbox of option 1 and select the value option 2. So we can pass this 2 argument inside the check, the check function, and we to locate all the elements by one CSS selector, we can use the common attribute, which is the checkbox. That would be the smart way, and we can do it by one line instead of writing multiple line. Okay, so we'll say check multiple checkbox option, using common attribute or properties, right? Attribute. So how can we do this? Let's look at the element first. So cy.get, and then we'll use, since we said we're going to use this type equals to this attribute type equals to checkbox, so we can make our own CSS selector. So it's all of them. You can see the tag name is input. For this one is input 2, so all of them it's input, right? So we can use input, make our own CSS selector to CSS selector, right? So we'll see the tag name it's input, right? And what's the format? And then attribute value is type, attribute name is type equals to what's the value? The value is checkbox, right? So put that checkbox. I hope you understand this format, how to create your CSS selector for an element. You can use the format is your tag name, then your the attribute name equals to value of the attribute in double quotation, right? So this is the CSS selector of this using a common attribute which is type. And then we're saying we're going to check. So let's call the check function, and then check function we can pass 2 argument for the 2 different the box, right? So to pass the 2 argument we can say this way. First one is the value for the first one, this is the very unique one, the value is option 1, and the second one option 2. So pass carefully, this is the first argument, and then comma, and then pass the second one. Second one would be option 2, right? That should be fine. Okay, let's save it. And then let's run it. And to run it, how we can run it, let's clear it. Okay, let's clear it, and then we know this is npm the command. We're going to use our own command, right? npm run cy and open, right? Here we go, test run is open. So click on checkbox. It's launching the browser. First, the first one, you can see it was very quick, but you can see there's a 2 checkbox, 2 option has been checked. So first one was select the checkbox, and second one was unchecked it, and the third one is select this 2 options, option 1 and option 2. So it's it's successfully able to do this, right? Awesome. So just one more thing before we close this tutorial, how to run this test cases or spec file in a headless mode. So we can run, okay, to run on headless mode, I mean without a browser mode, you can do it. So here is the command. Your command would be, the format would be let me give you the format first. Okay, let me open a notepad. So if the format would be npx and then Cypress run, npx Cypress run, then double slash double hash, so, and then spec, spec, and then equals to, in double quotation, you have to pass the your path of your spec file. path of the spec or test file, right? It's path of the spec file. Okay, that's the command. So npx cypress run, it's run your test cases. We're saying specifically spec file, run the spec file. Which one? There is a specific path of that spec file. Okay, if we follow this, let's run it like this. So if we just copy it, let's copy it. So here, instead of path of the spec file, we're going to get the path of your spec file. Let's say copy relative path. Let's remove it. Paste it. Okay, make sure you put the double quotation and then hit enter. Okay, here we go. So you can see it's saying run, start to running, and it's running. I mean, it's behind the scene. It's still using Electron, which is Cypress internal browser. Okay, it says spec file found 1, which is the file name is checkbox.js. That's the one we are looking for. And here you can see, it's 1 passing. So as a result is test 1 pass 1 failing 0. So and it's true, right? If you want, you can see the video too also. Okay, so that's the pretty much that's the way you can see the output in your console, because we are running on headless mode. You can see all the specs passed, so test 1 and passing 1. Okay, so pretty much that's the way you are going to run. You can run any specific spec file in a headless mode as well as in a browser mode using our test runner. Okay, so I hope that it's help you, and watch the next video, and we'll try different type of exercise. Thank you so much. Have a good one.